Hi there, this is a video testimonial of Dr. Edward Budd of Centennial, Colorado. He's a psychologist that was hired for a PRE, or Parental Responsibility Evaluation, for a court case in Jefferson County, Colorado. I'm only going to give you an outline of a few things to keep it fairly short and simple, but to give you an idea of my experience was like overall is really what I'm trying to share with you. There's tons of stories I'd like to tell you, but again, trying to keep it just somewhat short. I wouldn't even come close to being able to tell my overall opinion and experience. It was the strangest experience of my life. I can't even put it into words. For starters, I read all his horrible Google reviews, and why on earth would I hire him then? Well, my attorney assured me that he was a competent guy and that he would do a great job, and that all these people were just bitter. They were on the losing end of things, so they went and left a bad Google review. Well, something I've learned about this entire process is after watching the movie DivorceCorp.com, you might want to look up that movie. Divorce Corp is the name of the movie, but I believe there's a website, DivorceCorp.com. And what I'm learning is that these people are all in bed together. They are all stroking each other in one way or another. So don't kid yourself. You cannot trust your own attorney to give you adequate advice. If he's got some ulterior motive for recommending him, he's going to do it. It could be financial, it could be some business contacts, who knows. It's impossible to know. But you really should watch that movie on a side note. As soon as I left him a check for $6,000, which is half of his fee. It's going to be $12,000. That's in the year 2019 here. If you're watching this years from now, it could be much higher. $12,000 he gets for this. Well, I was court ordered to pay my $6,000. So I gave him a check, left a check for $6,000 at a receptionist desk that he shares with about 10 or 12 other office spaces there in Centennial. And I put a Post-it note on it with my email address. And I said, hey, would you please let me know that you got this? I was court ordered to pay it by a certain day. I didn't have a receipt. So a few days or a week goes by, I get no response. So I email him and I say, hey, did you get my check? Can you please just let me know? Thank you. No response. I wait another week. I email him again. No response. Then I pick up the phone and I call. No response. At this point, I called my attorney. I was just livid. I've had a PRE done before. The other PRE I had, you can probably find that video on Dr. Mac Bradley of Denver. And oh my God, they're all just cuckoo. I mean, these people have no social skills whatsoever and no common sense. They're incredibly smart in many ways as psychologists, but they have no common sense, just common courtesy or people skills whatsoever. And that comes into play. So that was my first experience, and I was horrified already. I already knew the guy was nuts. I'm like, who can't just return a call or an email, and just say, hey, yeah, I got the check. But you don't want to irritate the guy too badly. You don't want to go off a cliff with it. But, so yeah, I finally called my attorney, just livid and upset. He said, don't worry, relax, he'll do a great job. Well, I did not find that to be the case at all. What I found was that he, from the outset, just whitewashed everything. Just basically made everything on both of us equally, even though I had tons and tons and tons of emails showing that my daughter's mother had violated the court order many times over, failing to respond to important medical questions, emailing me saying that she didn't want to abide by the court order, she wasn't willing to abide by the court order, and showing even that this had been going on for so many years that I had gone to court several years earlier and had the courts install a deadline for response times. So in other words, that we both had to respond within, say, 48 hours if it's a medical question, or within a week at all. She still didn't abide by it. So really, I needed medical decision making. I needed to be able to make decisions without my daughter's mother's input or blocking me. But I had no idea how many emails I showed him. Now on that note, here's what you need to know. If you end up having to use this guy, make sure to find some way to prove what evidence you've shown him. He does not allow you to email him email evidence. So there's no record of it. You can hand it to him on a piece of paper or a disk drive or whatever, or a flash drive, and he can edit that or get rid of those files. So you know, anything you show him, it's really up to him. I recommend highly recording all of your sessions, audio recording all of them, so you can prove what was said. I did find him to be dishonest and stretching the truth on some stuff, and I'll get into that in just a moment. Let's see, what else do I want to cover? But yeah, record everything and go over the emails verbally so that you can discuss, so you can prove what was discussed between the two of you. Otherwise, he'll just take that email and toss it and say, I never saw that. You can't prove it. He's got a clever setup. He just basically tells people, hey, you can't email me. And, you know, blocks that right there. So, pretty smart of him, but unfortunately, it's pretty sad is what it is. He did lie in my report, only on one small area. I've seen a lot of Google reviews that say he lies, record everything, he lies. I will say the only lie he did say about me was that I do talk to my ex's ex-husband because I need insight into what's going on. She exhibits such strange and bizarre behavior. I make no apology whatsoever for communicating with this guy. He does provide me with information that sometimes I need to know about what's going on with the kids. She has another child with him. And he said, as we were talking about it, I said, you know, I talk to him for that reason, because I need to know what's going on sometimes. I said, yeah, sure, we might vent once in a while, but that's not the purpose, you know. It's the purpose is to understand what's going on, and again, to have some idea of what to expect, because she's exhibiting such strange, bizarre behavior. And in his report he wrote, the purpose of the father talking to the ex-husband is so that they can have rant sessions and disparage the mother. That's not what I said at all. Was I honest? And I said, yeah, sure, we vent a little bit, but no, that's not the purpose at all. And quite frankly, even if it was, I would have never said that. And I didn't say that, and that's not the case. But he just likes to contort things and make things up as he goes along. That's just what he does. He glazed over a huge issue. As I just mentioned, I had dozens and dozens and dozens of emails where I'm just begging my daughter's mother to respond. I'm saying, please, you know, I'm trying to schedule a medical appointment here. Please, 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 please respond. In the case of like a therapy appointment, I can't schedule it without her. I cannot do it. So much weird behavior on my daughter's mother's part. It just unbelievable. And he just glazed over in his report and said, oh, father feels like the mother doesn't respond fast enough to his emails. Yeah, I'm like, no, it goes way beyond just not responding fast enough. It goes to the fact that she wasn't responding fast enough. I had a court order installed, which cost thousands of dollars, and then she still ignores it. So yes, based on that, I think I should have medical decision making. Tons and tons of emails I showed him. Basically, this guy is just a socially misfit nerd. I mean, he basically likes, he's a control freak. He likes to say jump and watch you say how high. He gets off on it because of some kind of inadequacy in his own life. And, you know, he'll give you a little task or just watch you squirm. And he loves it. He loves watching you trying to explain your actions and all this stuff. And it's just he's a very strange person to be around. And it was really hard for me to formulate my thoughts or my words around him because he's just so incredibly odd. He shakes and taps his legs, sweats a little bit. Gee, it's just creepy even being around the man. In his report, he admits that my daughter's mother isn't right in her head. He even said in his report that in her head, 2 + 2 = 5, and no matter how hard you try to convince her that the answer is not 5, you cannot do it. Well, that's exactly the issue we're talking about here, Dr. Budd, is that I've had so much trouble getting her to respond to just do the simplest of medical appointments, etc. And that is why we were getting the PRE done. And that's why I was petitioning the court for full medical decision making or primary medical decision making. And again, he says in his report, oh, that would just cause more conflict for the father to have full medical decision making. No, let me explain. It would be more complicated for Dr. Budd to make that call, you see. Then he has to deal with complaints and people, or the mother, whoever, getting upset. He's trying to make his own life simple by whitewashing everything. From the outset, the guy is convinced. He knows from the very beginning that he's going to make everything look 50-50. And that's exactly what he did. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying there's anything I couldn't have handled differently. But believe me, compared to her, I have tolerated so much ridiculous, documentable behavior. Just beyond absurd. I can't even go into it all here. I just want to try and stay a little bit focused here. But if you're absolutely forced to use Dr. Budd as a PRE, record your conversations. Try and find some way to document what evidence you have sent him. Again, if you're recording your conversations with him in person, then go over the emails with him. Just verbally walk through them and insist on reading them to him so that you can prove at some point what emails you presented to him. And that's my best bit of advice. Now, if you are going to go in and see him, or you're already forced at this point to see him, plan on taking the Rorschach test. That's RORSCHACH test. And study up on what to say, what not to say. There's little tidbits you can get on YouTube videos and stuff, like don't talk about the white spots in the ink blots. The Rorschach test is the test about the ink blots, the classic kind of what do you see in this picture? Well, I mean, that's basically what he's going to put you through. And it's a very effective test, and I didn't know anything about it when I went in. And yeah, I'll admit, it showed a side of me that would have rather just not seen, but nothing serious. But if you want to avoid that, then yeah, I suggest you watch some YouTube videos and learn what to say, what not to say. Most of it's pretty much just self-explanatory. Don't see anything violent, don't see anything wicked or crazy or whatever. But sometimes in the moment, you just blurt out what you saw. So take a moment to do some background on that test. That way you can foil it a little bit by having some preliminary information on it. Beyond that, good luck. This guy is just a kook, in my opinion. That is my rock solid opinion. He is so awkward and just weird to be around, and just your typical psychologist. They're not exactly known for being mentally stable themselves. So good luck, and if you have any questions, feel free to call me. I'll be glad to give you any insight you want on Dr. Edward Budd, or answer any questions, take any feedback, whatever you have. But yeah, it's just a shame. This whole system, the whole family court system, is just corrupt. It is completely corrupt. It is designed to make you hate the other parent, to get you angry, and to get you to spend as much money in the process as possible. So if you can avoid it, don't even go to court. I had a rock solid case. My attorney told me my case was very strong. I had blatant evidence that she was just ignoring the court order. And yet, Dr. Budd's report, everything should stay 50-50. So, just stay out of the family court system if you at all can. Show this video to your significant other, your parent, baby mama, baby daddy, whoever, and say, look, just take my advice, okay? Don't even go to court. It's not going to get you anywhere except ching, a lot of money, and dealing with a psychologist like Dr. Budd, a lot of mental anguish. So, good luck.